Well, joining me now is Tim Shoveler, the Chief Negotiator at Network Rail. Tim Shoveler, good morning to you. Thanks for being with us. So how close are you guys to getting a deal?
Well, we made really significant progress in December when we put a new offer on the table that was worth 9% over 2 years, no compulsory redundancies till 2025, and a whole lot of other things that the union had been asking for, including privileged travel. And 2 of the 3 unions accepted that. And we know with some quite high results from our employees who voted for the deal, even though RMT suggested they shouldn't vote for that deal. So we think that we're on the right path here. And that with some clarification, there's an opportunity to resubmit that deal.
So you're going to resubmit the deal, you're not going to improve the deal that's on the table?
Well, I think there's a clarification point here. I think, as I say, we know that some of our people were asked by the RMT to do a referendum in just 5 days, which wasn't long enough. We'd agreed with them, expected a 2-week referendum. In 5 days, that meant that some of our employees had to answer a question: are they going to vote for the strike or not, against a recommendation from the RMT to reject the deal. So we think there's an opportunity to spend a little bit more time going around those questions, understanding the points of concern that perhaps weren't fully understood by some of our staff, re-clarifying those, and then ask them to have the vote again. Absolutely.
Well, this is your chance now to clarify some of those points that you think aren't being understood by those RMT members.
Yeah, so for example, within the maintenance reform parts of the deal, there were some quite significant improvements that were available. For example, we've put a new contract on the table which allows some of our employees to gain, on top of the normal 9% pay award, they could gain from some benefits associated with that new contract. I think there was a lot of concern about that hadn't been fully recognised as to how much that could be worth on an individual basis. So that's a really good example of something we want to clarify.
And on compulsory redundancies, you've put it off until 2025, but that still doesn't give people a great amount of job security, does it? And there are going to be cuts. People are going to lose their jobs once this is resolved. Well,
we need to reduce our establishment by about 1,850 heads. 1,850 posts need to leave the organisation. We've got 3,000 volunteers for voluntary severance. So whilst we've guaranteed there'll be no compulsory redundancies till January 2025, at the earliest, there's no suggestion that then there would be at that point. Because, as I say, we've got over 1,000 more people volunteering to leave than we actually want to. So no, we don't think there's any chance of people being made compulsory redundant.
I mean, Mr. Shoveler, you're making it seem like it's really clear and it should just be signed away. So where's the hold-up here? Mick Lynch says that the government have been getting involved and stymieing the deal, putting a block on stuff. Is that right?
Well, look, we're in a different place between the train companies and Network Rail. We have parallel but separate negotiations. We have a different offer on the table from the train companies. So I'm not going to comment on those other negotiations. But in terms of our deal, look, we've got a significant reform. We think we're nearly there. We can see that from the way that 36% of our employees from the RMT voted yes for the deal, even though they'd been advised not to by the trade union. So we do think we're on the right path. We're going to keep going with that, and we'll look forward to meeting the RMT just as soon as these strikes are over.
OK, well, those strikes will continue for the next few days, but they say there will be talks soon. All right, Tim Shoveler, appreciate your time with us.